What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast, the podcast where we have real and honest conversations with authentic people. My name is Lanston, aka LT.
My name is Marcus. Welcome to the Pull Up Podcast. Love to have you here.
Yeah, let's get it. So today we're going to talk about staying 10 toes down. It's a topic that is a little broad.
It is. Yeah, but I think it'll fit with everybody.
Exactly.
We can make it work for fit for everybody.
Exactly. And so for people who don't know what that means, what does it mean to stay 10 toes down to you?
To me, it's really just whatever goal or whatever action you're willing to go towards is staying fully committed in it. Not halfway committed, not 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out. You are fully committed to what you want to do. You have all your toes in the water. You're ready to just take a leap of faith and go for it. Whatever your dream, admiration, whatever goal you're trying to reach, that's what you're trying to do.
Preach. Yeah. Yes, sir. And, for people who don't know, I think most of our listeners will, but for people who don't know, it's a term that Nipsey Hussle used quite a bit. So it is common in our nomenclature to use that term.
Nomenclature. I like
nomenclature. I had to use it. So it is something that we take a lot of pride in, and really a lot of people started talking more and more about after the passing of Nipsey Hussle. So to your point, I agree with you. Staying 10 toes down is something that, it speaks to having that commitment. And no matter rain, storm, sleet, hell over high water, you are not budging. And so that's what it means to me to stay 10 toes down. So that could also be the name of the topic. Staying 10 toes down, but also commitment and purpose.
You're right, because you got to have that throughout because it's a process. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the 10 toes is you in it.
Right.
And now you got to have your purpose while you're in it and staying committed to that purpose while you're going through that whole situation. So I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Dead on. Speaking of, what was your favorite Nipsey song, bro?
Oh, man. Can't do this to me, man.
It's on the spot, baby. It's on the spot.
I'm going to just listen. Let's just think about Victory Lap then. Just the latest.
Okay, there we go.
I don't even.
You want the list?
Yeah, I'm going to have to get the list because I'm about to just quote the choruses. I don't know if I know exactly the name of each song. Man. He had so many. I remember in 2012 when we was in college, man, driving all the way from North Carolina to Denver, to go to school, listening to Nipsey the whole way on repeat. Man.
The marathon, the original of the marathon, my boy Ray Carter from college put me on that. Ever since then, I was in those. So it had to be around the same time, probably like 10, 11, somewhere around that time.
Right. Classic, man. It's some motivation music. I love it,
Yes. I mean, so I would say off of that album, Dedication with Kendrick was up there, and then Hustle and Motivate was probably my top two, my personal favorite.
Yeah, I mean, those are good ones, man.
Blue Laces, man. That's a classic. Everybody loves Blue Laces.
I like Last Time That I Checked.
Man,
go so hard.
Yes, get straight to the point.
Because the last time I checked, I'm the man on these streets.
Yes, so indeed.
I can relate to that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, big time.
So this is gonna be remembrance of Nipsey, man. Cheers to that.
You got your blue on today.
You got the blue on. You see me.
I'm kind of classy, but it's all good.
It's all good. Because no matter who you are, where you're from, anybody can stay 10 toes down. Sure. And we want to make sure, because we talk about it so much, that we're on the same page on what that means. And so we're going to break it down.
For me, I think the reason why you want to be committed in what you're doing is because you want to reach your ultimate goal. And that's the value that you're ultimately trying to reach, is whatever goal that you had in mind to get to that point. So your commitment in that is what's going to get you there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your bread and butter.
That's your bread and butter.
Like you can go through a whole bunch of different things and learning material and all of that stuff, but if you're not committed, you ain't gonna get it.
Yeah.
Period.
I 100% agree with you. I think commitment is important, but before commitment, you need purpose. A lot of times, you need purpose in order to find that commitment. And purpose is something that a lot of us, we haven't found it yet before. And it's hard to find purpose.
True.
And so once you find your purpose, I think every commitment is easy. You know exactly what you're going to do, because once you find that purpose, you found that commitment, then no matter what, this is what I need to do. And if anything gets in my way, then you got to move that out your way.
You're right.
That's your purpose. And it's in the way of your commitment.
Right.
And it really just gives you this principle to stand on.
Right.
And so I think before you can get to commitment, you need to find your purpose.
So, I'm a double up on the purpose. Now you got to have, once you find your purpose, then you have your passion.
Right.
Your passion is that fire that's burning into you to get to where you want to be, that keeps you committed, to get you to your goal. Like, that's the purpose, passion, commitment. Boom.
Yeah. So let me ask you this personally.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people may think they found their purpose.
Right.
But maybe they haven't.
Right.
You know, I know I certainly thought I found my purpose, and I mistake my purpose with my pride before. And so
That's deep. Now.
You know,
that's
like
deep now. Hold up now.
Let's
talk about that now.
You know, it's easy to confuse pride with purpose. And then all of a sudden you're committed to your pride and you're not committed to your purpose. And I feel like when you committed to your pride, that's when you get yourself in trouble. You know, that's what you're putting first. And I'm going to stand on my pride no matter what.
Right.
Rains, sleet, storm, I'm staying in my pride. And that's where I feel like a lot of us in our community, we can make a lot of mistakes because we think that we're standing 10 toes down, but we're really standing on our pride. In reality, we need to stand on our purpose. And so I just think that's the one thing that we have to be cognizant on, and we need to ask ourselves realistically, are we standing on pride or purpose? And if it's pride, it's fine. I just admit it. I've been there myself.
Right.
But once you find your purpose, then everything makes sense. Right. And so I found my purpose by getting in some trouble.
Hey, God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, that's not where you need to go, brother.
Yeah. So I had to sit down for a little bit. Right. And, you know, once I got in trouble, I was able to start to identify what my purpose was, which is, you know, my ability to speak up for others, you know, me being a leader,
right.
And, you know, and speaking up for my community.
Right.
So anything that I'm going to do is going to have to align with that purpose. And if it doesn't, then I'm not doing it.
Not doing it.
If it does, then I'm staying solid, 10 toes down. I'm not moving. I'm committed to that.
Right.
So that's how I found my purpose. And again, I found it by getting in trouble, but I figured it out. And that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter your past. It matters when you find your purpose, how you're going to move forward in that.
Right.
So
I feel like that happens with a lot of people. It's like trial and error. Like, you just live in life. Living life is trying to understand yourself. You're just looking in the mirror, trying to find things to better yourself. And then while you're doing that, all of a sudden, boom, oh, that's my purpose.
Right.
I feel like you just know. Like, it's like nobody could tell you or anything. It's just a feeling like that day, like, I found my purpose. I know what this is, what's for me. Like, it's easy for me. There's nothing I gotta go, you know, train on and get a full on. Now, of course, I want to, you know, sharpen my skills in that area or whatever. But you just know, like, that's it for me. This is what I want to do. So yeah, definitely through trial and error is probably one of the better ways to do things. I think a lot of people get scared when they take L's, right? You know what I'm saying? But an L is not necessarily a loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lesson. Like, it's all like, it goes back to that mental mind shift. Like, when you understand, like, a loss, it's not a true loss. It's like, it's a lesson. Like, I'm really learning now. Now I'm understanding not to make that move again.
Right.
And then slowly you start picking up W's, and you're like, oh, now I got it.
Now that's what I'm here for. That's my purpose. Exactly right. So those L's can shape you out to find your purpose. And one of the first people I thought about, because I've been doing a lot of research on him recently, is that Wall Street Trapper.
Ooh, Big Trap,
right?
My dog, yeah.
His story was crazy. I mean, I remember watching the interview. He was so casual about it, man. I got him into prison for trying to shoot a man.
Crazy.
I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I got back out. He learned that, you know, maybe he needed to get into stocks and, you know, be more financially savvy. So he gets back out. And you're like, all right, you think this is going to be where the story turns around and everything goes great. Right. Then he starts selling drugs. Right. You know what I'm saying? That to him, you know, went from almost catching a body to selling drugs. That's a progression for him. Yeah. You know? He goes and gets back into the system, comes back out, and like, I got to do things different. And they start robbing the people who sell the drugs. Right. It's like, man, you know, a lot of people, if this story ended there, this guy like ruined his life. You know what I mean? Yep. But he learned from it, and now he's well vested. He has a lot of investment in stocks. He's doing well. And now he's teaching our community on how to invest in stocks. And he's able to do it because part of his purpose, and I hate to speak for him, but what I hear him say is his purpose is he understands the stock industry, and he can speak it in terms what way that we can understand it. Breaks it down to normal nomenclature. Right. I use that twice. Yeah,
that's 2 times today.
2 times.
But I've been reading.
Yeah, I've been reading a little bit. You know, got to expand your mind. So, you know, he can break it down to where we get it. Right. And, you know, that's his purpose. Yeah. And so, to your point about taking L's, brother took a lot of L's. but in taking those L's and not letting those L's define him, he then found his purpose, and he's super wealthy. Mm-hmm. He's giving back to the community, mm-hmm. and and he's somebody that we all can look to for advice. That's beautiful, man.
That's big time. That's a king.
Tell him about you. How'd you find your purpose? When did you find your purpose? And walk us through that.
Man, I think I found my purpose back when I left my first job. I was working at a bank. I was a branch manager, loan officer at the bank. I hated that job. I remember man, golly, I hated that job. That was one of those situations where I just took the job for the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really didn't love banking, but it was a job opportunity and I took it. But within that, I would say this, while I was in the bank, I did learn for myself that I love to manage people. I love working with people and interacting with people, helping people get to where they want to go, if you know what I'm saying. I really enjoy that. I love seeing people grow. So when I left that, I left the bank and I started my own company. It's a moving company. And
keep it moving.
Keep it moving logistics. If you need to move, baby, Denver, we got you. So within that, I've dealt with so many different individuals, and I've been able to at least I think I have helped them grow and to understand where they want to go. You know what I'm saying? Not just staying in one mindset. Like, you can be here for a moment, but then you could change and you can grow to where you truly want to be. Like, this is not your forever end all be all.
Right.
Like, that's what I think my true purpose is helping individuals get to where they want to go and not just staying stagnant. Because I hate stagnant.
Right.
And I'll tell them like you don't want to be here. Like, you're better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just get stuck in a spot and you get comfortable. Mm-hmm. You just get comfortable and you stay there like, I'm doing okay, right? But before that, you didn't want to be there. Like, you wanted to be here, and now you're selling for here. Like, that's not how life's supposed to work. Like, you want to consistently get here. Now, I understand, like, you can be in certain situations where you got to be right here for right now. That's cool. But as long as you keep your mindset here, you'll eventually get there. But you can't lower your mindset of where you want to go. Like, you can't do that.
You can't do it. You can't do it. And I think that's awesome, man, because I think a lot of business owners, or even managers, they want you to stay where you are because it benefits them.
Right.
And you're thinking even your purpose is, I don't want you to stay here.
No.
And that's rare, man. That's rare. Not a lot of people think that way.
You can't. I mean, I just love to see people grow, man. Like, I don't want to see nobody just sitting there, staying there. Like, it's not healthy in my mind.
No.
It can't be healthy, right? Like,
yeah. All right, so again, we talked about purpose and we talked about commitment. Mm-hmm. Those are, the key foundational blocks for staying 10 toes down.
Thanks.
So when it comes to purpose, I do have a question for you, my brother.
Yep.
So when it comes to purpose, is purpose tied to success? Is it tied to happiness?
That's a good one, brother.
Yeah,
man, that's a good one. I think
speak before you speak, like, for you, and then generally for what your thoughts are.
Okay. For me, purpose, as I've grown, purpose is more turned to happiness for me, because originally I tried to tie it to monetary reasons, and it didn't quite work out. Like, you always, because whenever you put monetary things in front of you, nothing's ever going to be enough.
Right.
Like, you're going to always want more and more and more of monetary. But once you find happiness and you find peace, I think that's where you're like, this is it. Like, I'm good, like, right here.
Right.
Not as far as like staying right here, but I'm good in this space that I'm in.
Right.
That's why I would say happiness for me. But I think naturally it will be more so on the the monetary side of word success. Like, where'd you go from where you were, type of thing, as far as like your goal. Now I was on step 2, now I'm at step 6.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
so
I think that's naturally what it would be.
Right. Man, when I think about purpose, I think that, can it bring you happiness? Could it bring you money? I do, because I think once you find your purpose affects every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
So once you find your purpose, then you're committed to that purpose, and that purpose is going to go to your relationships.
That's true.
That's going to drive what you do with your career, what you're going to do about your happiness, and how you stay content.
That's
true.
I
think once you find your purpose, maybe you don't want a lot of money, which is fine, or
right.
but I think you know, it could bring you income. You know, it can bring you money. It comes with it, you know, because you're passionately seeking your purpose and trying to follow your purpose. And a lot of times, you know, you can bring that same purpose to whatever your industry is. You don't mean that your purpose, if my purpose is, like I said, I can speak up for others and can be a voice for others. Doesn't mean that I just have to quit everything and just speak for people.
Right.
You know? I can still, in my current job, I can still speak for people.
Right.
And I think in long term, as since that's my purpose, it's going to come off as real and authentic, that I really mean that.
People are going to attract to that.
It's going to attract to that, and that may give me more opportunities because of that. So I do think once you find your purpose, it's going to just accelerate you in life in general. When it comes to your happiness, money, and income. So I think it is something that, for those people who are driven by just happiness or numbers when it comes to money, find your purpose and those things will follow.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's you hit that right on the spot there, because like it's just the attraction, the law of attraction type of thing. You know, like that's just what it is. Like when you're doing great things within your purpose, other great things are going to come to you. Like people are going to naturally want to be around you. They naturally want to. They see where you're going, and they want to come too, or at least be a part of that. Like this is a good dude right here. I want to be around this. Like maybe we should put him in a certain situation, and watch him blossom, and boom.
And I think the same thing, and I'm the same way when I see other people who have their purpose. You know, like they.
I love seeing
it. It comes off as real. You know, I want to get to know him more. You know, I want to support him more. You know, and it is just. It's something that comes off when that person is authentic, real, and they know themselves and they know what they want to get accomplished. Where, you know, that type of security and purpose, maturity is something that is so attractive, man. You know, for lack of a better word. You know, and it does draw people to you. But you made me think about something, man.
Wait, what's up?
So does your purpose change? You know, so when you quit your job, you found your purpose over time. You think your purpose is going to change 10, 15 years from now, or you think?
I think it definitely could. I think it definitely could, because I think in life, man, you go through so many different stages. Like your purpose is good for you, like right now. And I think once you get to another level, like you can still have that same purpose, but I think you can have another one. I don't think you should be tied down to one purpose.
Does it build on top of each other, or does it just kind of completely change?
I think it could be both. And I totally think it could be both, because I think us as humans, we could do two total different things and still have a great purpose and still have the same commitment to both of those things. Now, I think it'd be harder that way, more so than, you know, stacking them on top of each other. But I definitely think you could definitely do that. Like, that's pretty. I think. Man. That's a good question. Your purpose can definitely change.
I think it can change. Right now, it's been the reason I asked it is because for me, it's been the same. The more I get older, the more I see that the purpose that I recognized when I was older was still the purpose that people they seen in me before. You know, they seen it. And I didn't know. You didn't know. You know, and as I got older, it's clear and clear. I don't know yet because I can't go into the future. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, is it just going to become more and more clear what that purpose is as I get older, or is that going to change?
No, I don't know. I think it could. I think it could be all of that. Like what you're saying is like, so I'm clear on your purpose is you have this particular purpose, right? And you think it's this. And you move up, and it's still that same purpose, but it's just a little bit more defined in what you're going after. And it just slowly is like pinpointed. Boom.
This is what it is. At least that's has been my story, and it's been more and more clear over time.
I think that's pretty spot on. Or like you can get in like different type of relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like with different friends, different groups of people, meet different people, and then they teach you or show you something that you never even thought of, and you're like, whoa, this is it too. This is like, I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I think you could do that. I think it's all different ways you can have your purpose, as long as you find it and know it. Though, like I think you'd be spot on.
Let's tie this in because we're talking about purpose right now. We're about to go back to commitment, but again, this is talking about 10 toes down. You know, how are you 10 toes down? We don't want people just say they're 10 toes down. They don't know what it means, or they're staying there 10 toes down and you're really not. You know,
Facts.
It's something that's said quite a bit. So staying 10 toes down. Let us know what you think. What is your definition of staying 10 toes down?
Put it in the comments.
Let us know. This is just kind of our thoughts, but you know, we've been around the block and we've been 10 toes down for a long time.
For a minute, baby.
So this is the way that we look at it.
Yes, for sure. Please leave your comments.
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe, everything. Ring that bell, baby.
Let's ring it. Okay, up next, we talked about a little bit about commitment, but let's keep talking about commitment. Why is commitment so hard for people to have? Once they find their purpose, why is commitment so hard? Or do you think it's hard because they haven't found a purpose?
Ooh. I think it's naturally is hard to stay committed because people naturally, I don't think, are focus driven. I think that all comes back, tying it back to that mind shift change to where you're like, this is what I do, this is what I want to do. That's when the commitment isn't as hard. But like when you're first getting into it, like the commitment is pretty, because you're at the beginning stages, you're kind of wavering. Like you don't really know, like, this is what I want to do. You're trying to figure it out. And it's like, one thing can knock you down. You get back up, like, let me try it one more time. But if something else hits you, you're like, I don't know. Like I'm done with all that. That can't be it. You know what I'm saying? So I think in the beginning stages, like, I understand how that you can kind of waver and not fully staying committed. But once you find your purpose, like we keep talking about, the commitment piece of it becomes a hell of a lot easier in staying within the path that you want to go.
Facts.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
I can't say it any better myself. I agree with you. Like, I think commitment is hard because I think we're trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, this is what we stand for. I'm going to stay committed. Something happens. You're unsure already.
Right.
And then I'm not doing this anymore. What is it? Let's reset. Or maybe you just say, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just not even think about what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it can be nerve-wracking at first.
Yes.
When you're trying to, even if you find your purpose and you're not sure, but you have to walk that walk.
You have to.
You know?
You have to.
I'm about to take you to church.
Oh, come on. Preach, brother.
Faith is the substance.
Yes, there we go.
Hold on, let's not even go.
No, let's do it, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just not going to be able to see it. And that's the scary part.
Yep.
That's the part that builds you the most.
Yep.
You know, because once you get through it, who knows how long that is? Let's say it's a year down the road.
Right.
You start to have things flow for you. Things start to happen. Then you can look back and say, man, I couldn't see it before.
Yes.
But now I see it clear as day. Look how far I came.
Yes.
And then I think those are the type of success that you need to see in order to continue to have that commitment.
Yes.
So you can stay 10 toes down.
Okay. So speaking on people getting knocked down and stuff, let's say you think you found your purpose, you think you are committed, right? And you just keep doing it, keep getting knocked down, keep knocking down. I think at a certain point, you do have to realize that that's not where you need to be. Like I think at a certain point, because some people are truly like that. They'll just keep doing it. It's like, no, brother, that's not, you don't need to be doing that no more. Right. I just had to throw that in there.
It's not your purpose.
It's not your purpose,
I've been trying to be a rapper since I was 15 years old.
Yeah,
when I'm 35 now.
35. I don't think that's what you want to. Maybe engineer or something. Maybe engineer. You might be in the same realm, but not a rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
Producer, maybe
a writer. Let's think about some other things here.
Yeah, you got to say it, because that's true. That's true, because you don't want to be foolish. Foolish doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah.
And really, like, I would say this, because I don't think an occupation is your purpose ever. So
I think it can be, but I don't think it's rare that that's the case.
Yeah. So, what situation would that be? Because I think about maybe your purpose is always bigger than the job or role or person itself. That's how I look at it.
Fair, right.
You can have a job that allows you to live in your purpose, but even if that job went away, your purpose
will
doesn't
still
change,
be there.
You know?
That's fair. But
So that's part of staying 10 toes down. I don't care if I have a job, no job. I don't care if this happens. I don't care if I'm by myself, my family with me, they not with me. I'm 10 toes down. You know, like, I'm focused. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not sure if you mean, challenge me, man. Let me know what your thoughts are.
So for me, I think, okay, let's just say your job right now, you are let's say you're CEO of a company.
Okay.
Right? And your purpose is leading others to this, for lack of a better term, promised land. Right? So that's your job. Well, no, your job is a CEO, but your purpose is leading people to the promised land. Within that, but with being a CEO, that's basically what you're doing.
Right.
It's leading people to the promised land. Like, you're leading them and directing individuals to grow and to become better people, which essentially makes your company a better company. So that's kind of what I meant by, like, within your job, I think you can have that same purpose.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. In your job, I think you touched on it earlier, you can definitely have purpose your purpose can fall into your career and
Right.
whatever your
but it's
career
not
is.
dependent on it. I
It's
guess
not
there you
Yeah, I don't think it's dependent on it, man.
Fair. There
you know.
go.
So I guess bring it back to what we talking about. You're a rapper for 20 years.
Right?
What is your purpose? Not a rapper.
It's
man.
not it.
You know,
brother.
maybe your purpose is, I don't know. I can't tell you what your purpose is, but maybe it's just giving back to others.
Right.
You know, and that should be your purpose. And maybe being a rapper, this is a horrible example. Talk about being a rapper.
I'm sorry, rappers. I know there's a lot of young rappers out there trying to do your thing. Keep doing what you're doing. Salute you.
My brother.
But I'm just saying.
What is your purpose? You don't care what your thing is. Think about, all right, let's talk about rappers. Let's talk about Nipsey Hussle.
Okay, right.
J. Cole.
Yep.
Kendricks.
Yep.
The GOATs right now.
Yep.
They all got a purpose.
Yep.
J. Cole is a normal person that talks about his struggles and where he came from and not having a lot.
Yep.
You think about Kendrick Lamar, authentic. He talks about his struggles with everything, you know, and where he came up.
Yep.
Good Kid, Mad City was how he came up and some of the poor decisions he made based off of being in, his environment. You know, Nipsey, he was preaching, he talking about how to build black wealth and everything like that, you know, and being from,
That's life lessons, baby.
Crenshaw in the Rolling 60s. So, he's being real and authentic. His purpose is bigger than rap. And that's why when he passed away, it was a movement. So I think anybody, no matter what your industry is, you have to find your purpose and everything else will follow. People will follow, they'll see what you're doing. Let's end on my favorite part of the podcast.
Okay.
Favorite part of the podcast, and this is where you give advice to your younger self. Or let me actually just read this off to you. What's the advice that you would give your younger self about being 10 toes down? Answer that question. Or what advice would you give somebody who's struggling to find their purpose?
I'll answer both of them.
Okay.
For my younger self, staying 10 toes down, I think, okay, we'll go with straight out of college. Okay. You know, trying to find yourself, trying to find you. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been living on your own for a little bit, but now you real world for real. Like everything
really
coming. You got bills, everything, car notes, rental payments, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Trying to find a job, get a job, lose a job. Everybody goes through those type of situations,
Absolutely.
right? Within that, I think at that point, I think your commitment, your 10 toes down should be for yourself. Like, stay committed to yourself and growing yourself, trying to find you. Because I think a lot of times we get lost at that age. You know what I'm saying? Like we see the things on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, trying to live like somebody else. They got this, they got that. But what are you doing for yourself? How are you growing internally to become a better you? I think if I would have done that back then, I'd be a whole lot farther where I am now. So that's what I'll give my younger self.
Fire.
That information straight off top. And then what was the other question?
Someone who's struggling
with it. Okay.
Purpose. What advice would you give them?
So this we'll tie this in with the resources. So I would say definitely listen to a lot of different podcasts and stuff. But one of the biggest things I think, try to find someone, like if you think you know where you want to go, find somebody that's been there already and talk to them.
Right.
Because probably, let's just say 9 times out of 10, they probably dealt with the thing that you're dealing with right now.
Right.
So if you can talk to them ahead of time, that'll help you with negating some of the L's that you'll probably take trying to do it on your own. Like, it's always smarter to get help from somebody else. I think sometimes in life we feel like we got to do this all on our own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like go out there, ask somebody, talk to some people, get a mentor, get somebody who can walk you through this. Like, don't be ashamed, because everybody's been through this process in life, and everybody's process is not necessarily the same, but some of those struggles can be very, very similar. So if you talk to people and get an understanding, like, it'll save you a lot in the long haul.
Right. Man, that's great information. And to be honest, I would probably say the same things. You know, when it came to my younger self, right out of college, had opportunity to play professional football. Unfortunately, due to injuries, it didn't last as long as I wanted to. Right. And I was stuck trying to figure out who am I? Right. The whole life I've been a starting football player.
People don't understand that. Like, how was that mind shift? Like, cause like football, cause you know in your head, cause okay, so for people who don't know, like, to play football at a high level, you got to be supreme confidence. Like, you have to. Your mind has to be, you can't like waver. Like, you won't make it if you're wavering. Right. So if you have that mindset of supreme focus, and this is what I want, this is what I want to be, it's hard to kind of think about other things at the moment, because you won't be you won't get the full potential out of yourself at the moment.
You're exactly
so
right.
how does that happen and all of a sudden you hit that wall like, nope, that's not it?
It's over. It's hard, especially when it's based off an injury or whatever it may be, because you didn't
Nothing
see
you
it
can
coming.
control, yeah.
And so, man, it was hard. I really don't. I just had to learn. You know, I didn't at the time realize that I was struggling.
Right.
You know, and I was struggling because my identity was that of a football player, and what comes with being a football party and having a good time. Like that was what my MO was.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, it's like, who am I? I don't have a job.
Right.
Like just had this surgery.
Right.
Like who am I? And I didn't realize how much it affected me, but I think the way I reacted was by doing the things that I did before, going out, partying, those things I know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
How good with that. Yeah, that's just what it is.
You know, still me, right?
Still me, right? Yeah.
Baby, you know,
it's LT, baby. LT in the building.
Yeah. So, that's something I had to think about. But one thing I did do, and this isn't necessarily advice, but this is something I realized I did good. So this is advice I would give someone who is struggling, is I reached out to a lot of people and all sorts of different people and different industries, CEOs, I was getting uncomfortable. So maybe that is the advice. Get uncomfortable. Because it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me to just go talk to these people and ask for their help.
Right.
But I did it.
Right.
And some people didn't help, but some people did.
Right.
And it got me to where I am now. And essentially it got me a job, a great job, got me connected with a lot of people to where I was connected to, the people around the community. And it really helped me out a lot.
Right.
So I didn't realize what I was doing. I was just scrambling.
Yeah. Sometimes the best
it's
thing.
just scrambling. Yeah. I hit panic mode and I was just
mode.
reaching out, trying to figure out what I needed to do. And looking back, hindsight is always 20/20. It's the best thing I did. And I always give that advice to a lot of people who are in my scenario, like our scenario, finish college football, go into a real job, play professional, get a real job, get uncomfortable. A lot of you mentioned it. We feel comfortable being by ourselves and doing it by ourselves.
Right.
But that's only going to take you so far.
Yeah.
Learn from others, ask for help from others, ask for advice, and that's how that can really help you find your purpose. It can put you in the right place, and it can really help you out a lot. So that's the advice that I'll give to someone who's struggling.
Man, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Sir.
And to back that up, I guess reading autobiographies of different individuals who are in, it doesn't have to be in what you're doing. Just read different autobiographies and you'll see like the very successful people, they've all been through these stages of trying to figure things out. Like it's everything, everybody's process is not just a smooth process at all. So don't get discouraged when you hit your what you think is your bottom, because you could have another bottom.
Right.
But don't get discouraged in that moment, because you have to go through that moment to get through where you want to get to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't go through that moment at that time and you didn't process it the way you did, I don't think you would be where you are right now.
No.
And right now he's a very successful young black man.
I appreciate it.
I promise you guys that. He's killing it out here, man.
Appreciate it. Likewise too, man. And that's why we're doing this, because we know we know each other.
Yeah,
we know what we've been able to accomplish, and we want to give back those jewels. And that's what we do with the Pull Up Podcast. We just want to make sure to pull everybody up. So that's what we're going to do. So appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Another one, baby.
Yes, sir. Another one. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
And like, subscribe, leave comments below, and let us know what you guys want to talk about. Pull up.
Yep. Thank you for pulling up on us.
Yes, sir.